Good morning, everyone. Monday is back, and so is your dose of Monday Health Booster. I'm Dr. Shivani Sood, the director founder Shivani Ayurveda, and my aim is to communicate Ayurveda to the modern society so that this ancient science is completely useful for them. And as you know, I train consultants who help people with their health. No, consultants are not medical doctors, but they can really help you understand your unique configuration according to Ayurveda, and they can bring in sense to why you're facing problem and how you can help your health in a better way using the holistic science of Ayurveda. As you know, doctors have very little time. They have 5 or 10 minutes to talk to a client. When we have a diagnostic, we definitely need more support around health. And in my this mission, I have special trained yoga teachers, psychologists, coaches, and nutritionists who are learning the Ayurvedic diagnostic in a very simple format, but effective format to help people with their problems. And this means that the society is going to get more and more people who can actually, not only help with their yoga or with nutrition, but overall have a look at the individual. Because we know with medical science, we only get doctors when we are sick, right? And Ayurveda plays a very important role in prevention. So, considering this mission of mine, I'm going to answer a question which is asked by one of the pupils I'm teaching in the class now, and she's a yoga teacher, and she says that, well, I know that people have to change their habits, and I tell them the new habits, but they're not able to give up the old habits. So they come to my class, they know that they have to start drinking hot water, but instead of hot water they go back to the coffee and they drink their coffee again. Or they come to yoga class and they have compulsive eating and they're very good for one day, but they fall back to the same trap when the class is over. So, how can I help them in a more effective way? Definitely, please remember that this student is studying to be a consultant, so she has more information apart from this booster to help, right? But how do you give people impulse in the right way when they have habits which are not correct? So, in order to do that, it is very important to know that why the person has developed that habit. What actually is the reason why the person has the habit? For example, compulsive eating. So, why is the person eating compulsively? Because maybe the pressure and the stress by him cannot be handled, right? And that's why when he eats food and he feels heavy, he feels grounded. So, it is very important to find out the reason of the old habit which you want to change and why exactly that person has developed the habit. So do not judge the habit of the person, because as being in a field of knowing health, we could be like, oh, we have better habits than yours. But the point is here to understand why the patient or your client is suffering because of that habit. So bring in light to the understanding about the development of the habit before you want to change it. Check its origination point, how long and how did it start. So which point of his life did this habit start? What incidents happened in the life that it made it start? And bring the person in contact with this habit, like seeing the mirror and accepting that this is the habit and understanding the habit. So by doing that, you will make a person comfortable with the habit even if it's not the right habit, and he'll be able to open up and see why the habit is developed. So once you get your client doing that, then you have to do the second step, which is understanding the impact of the bad habit on the body. So if you've been smoking, then you just cannot pull that all that cigarettes away in a day. You need to kind of replace it with something so that the new habit replaces the old habit. So smoking is actually relaxing, right? So why not replace the smoking with the Ayurvedic herb to relax the nerves and use this and then slowly pull the cigarette out? Or coffee is related with stimulation. So why not ask the person to just get up from his chair and do 20 jumps and stimulate himself alternatively? So there's always a possibility to replace the habits with an alternative habit. Compulsive eating, you can put a warm bag on the stomach and your stomach heats up and you start feeling full, because you need that fullness and the heat brings that fullness. So while replacing habit, putting the alternative habit is a great way to make the person feel as if something is not being pulled out of him, but something is being given to him. And the third thing is, any new habit which is going to come in is going to shift back to the old habit. And it's very important to be persistent with any new thing you have done, and not take too many stuff to change at once. Stick with one habit and try to change that habit just for a week, and observe that for a month, and then pick up your second bad habit you want to change. Often what we do when we want to change things, we want to change all, and that's not really working. So if in your food you have lots of wrong thing you're eating, try to pull out slowly, one by one, and don't do it all at once, pressurizing and pushing yourself. So the way you're changing it shouldn't be impulsive. It should be something which is just going in a rhythm, because we know about pressure. When we try to change things with pressure, imagine the egg. You want to, get a life out of egg, it has to break from within, right? Not from putting hammers on it. So that's why allow the person to change slowly and appreciate the change, and admire his identity shifting. Say it loudly, like, I'm really proud I got rid of this habit, and I can just pat my back for this. So try to be encouraging towards the person, and reduce the tone of his critical voice, and I'm sure the bad habits are going to change. And by being in the field of complementary medicine, which is actually the main medicine of not really falling sick, we can help so many people and make their life better today and forever. So that's all for this Monday Health Booster. I hope you found it effective to help your clients if you're working in the health field. And I'll be back next Monday with more advices. Until then, keep healthy and stay smiling.